Hi, I'm Ron Gallegos. I'm running for the Ward 3 position on the Longmont City Council. I have lived in Longmont since 1985. I'm a native of Colorado. I have experience in high tech and own my own business. I was with US West for 18 years as a project manager as well as a line manager. I own my own mortgage concerns since 1999, having done both residential and commercial real estate. I was also on the Planning Commission, the liaison to the Library Board, as well as on the Economic Development Council. So I do have a host of business experience that I bring to this table. What are my relevant backgrounds and skills for running for this office? I was a ward representative from this area from 1995 to 1999 to the Longmont City Council. I was a liaison to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I served on the National Board of League of Cities Board of Directors, as well as the Board of Directors of the locally elected Hispanic officials, and on the Board of Directors of the Colorado Municipal League. So I bring a lot of governmental experience on being on boards and commissions, and general experience and knowledge of how the city is run and operated. I think that's important because I think quality and experience are key to this position, and the position has to be an advocate for the ward. So I think the advantage I bring is having been to the table, having had government experience, I can hit the ground running. Quality are the most important issues to this ward, really have to do with traffic right now, traffic in the neighborhoods and the need for mitigation. The neighbors really want to slow down the traffic, and in many instances need to reroute the traffic to appropriate arterials. So they're asking for traffic mitigation devices like bumps and humps and roundabouts and whatnot, which I think is only fair because the residential streets were not designed to carry big industrial equipment or fast-moving cars. The other need in Northwest is a recreation center, and I'm advocating, instead of the proposed recreation center in Southwest, that we build at Garden Acres, and we build high. We can build a 5-story building, plenty of parking. The space is there to accommodate this kind of a structure. We could have the rec center, we could have the branch library there, as well as a police substation. I think the major focus that I would bring to this endeavor would be a comprehensive approach to the development of the city, economic sustainability, transportation development, and affordable housing. And I think we need to tie this together with a plan that begins to look at building on commercial sites so that we have residential and condo units on top, and on the main floor we can have retail and commercial spaces. This would help drive economic sustainability. It would also mean that there would be fewer traffic trips because people could live and work in the same location. Finally, I think we need to take advantage of the fact that we're so near Rocky Mountain National Park, and we should grow a clean base of employment called tourism, because if people come for a convention, stay for a week, they'll spend money in Longmont, and I think this is where we need to go. I ask for your vote and support for Ward 3. My name again is Ron Gallegos.
Hi, I'm Diane Christ. I'm your Ward 1 candidate. I'm the granddaughter of immigrants who came here with nothing. I'm the first generation to speak English. I believe in the American dream and hard work. I am grateful for the success I found in Longmont, and I want the new generation to have the same or better. I've lived in Longmont for 30 years and in Ward 1 for 26 years. We raised our 4 children here. My father wanted me to be an engineer. Naturally, I rebelled and went to art school. I had a full-ride scholarship, which required me to seek a Bachelor of Science degree. So I moved into marketing and then advanced to a 5-year degreed accounting program. It was 5 years, so I did 4 years and a summer, and my family paid for that summer because it was outside my scholarship. Today, I am a business design and development accountant, I work with entrepreneurs and new technology industries. I come from a military family. I have worked with government entities from the local level all the way up to the federal government. Service is important to me. I should also mention I am vice chair of Longmont's Transportation Board. The most important issues facing our ward are how to pull it all together. We have high-density housing in far-flung places, isolated from commercial sites and experiences. Our businesses are fighting for a way to stay afloat while facing the effects of increased crime. Transportation is hard to find, with infrequent bus service and long trips across town. Community commercial centers are the answer. These would be areas where 10 essential services are located around city services like recreation and library extensions. In Ward 1, I would like the city to rent the blighted Safeway building on 17th Avenue and use it for expanded recreation and library services in our area. Every ward has at least one large empty building. Placing city services in community commercial centers will build the area business and a sense of community. These areas will also be easier for policing and will become a great hub for transportation drop-off and pickup. The idea is 5 stops at one destination. Families should be able to conduct at least 5 errands before returning home. Business development is key in these areas and will be especially needed as Meade completes the RV park they are planning north of Highway 66. Those campers are going to come looking for services in Longmont. Check out my website, christforlongmontcouncil.com, to see my priorities. Transportation is there, economics is there, especially as it relates to independent landlords. Third, I want to address the grim situation we find ourselves in, especially as it relates to the next generation. Change will come. It always does. We are going to work on the fabric and structure of our neighborhoods, and we are going to usher this change in. Thank you. I hope you remember me on November 7th. We can do this.
Hey there, my name is Becca Venturella. I am running for Longmont City Council at large this November 7th. This February 13th, my cousin was murdered at the Michigan State University mass shooting. When I advocated at the state capitol for the gun violence prevention measures that just passed, I fell in love with the process of bills being passed, how our laws are made, and knew I had to do something at the local level. And that there sparked my interest in politics and seeing how I could bring about change here at our local area where we're affected the most day in and day out. I want to work with national organizations and local organizations to support our city whenever we get involved in raising the age to 21, hopefully, in Longmont, so that we have that held while the state figures out the bill that we passed this past session. Longmont is behind other cities and the measures they're passing around gun violence prevention. I believe it's important that we enact gun violence prevention measures in our city. Other cities have passed these laws and we are behind, and I think that me being in that seat as a survivor, we can hold those things accountable and make sure that we can protect our citizens. Even if it's one person, that could be my cousin. I'm going to work on raising the age to 21 to buy a long gun. Currently, it's being held at our state and could be in court for 5 years. So I think we need to do that here. We have a city of 100,000 people, and if we can put that in place so that someone, an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, doesn't go in and buy an assault rifle, then that would really save a lot of us some heartache if that were to go wrong. I'm going to work with our district attorney for Boulder County, and we're going to look at ways that we can support our community with unsecured guns. He has access currently to so many safes, gun safes, that we could distribute throughout Longmont and help people secure their weapons. That's one thing that I really want to focus on, as well as housing. We talk about this often, but I truly do believe that we need to look at this closely because we're behind on houses in this area. And if we can look at infill versus going to the outskirts and pushing into our open space, then we could really welcome more people into our community. If I'm elected, I will work to enact common sense gun violence prevention measures, as well as working on affordability for our homeowners and renters. You can find out more about me on beccaforlongmont.com. I hope that I can earn your vote. Have a good night.
I'm Sean McCoy. I'm 58 years old. I've been married to my wife, Maureen O'Brien McCoy, for 31 years. I have two beautiful adult daughters, Claire McCoy Pritchard and Molly McCoy. Both graduated from Silver Creek. I went to high school at Longmont High and elementary at Central Elementary. And, I've lived here all my life. I was born and raised here. I am a high school teacher at Monarch High School, where the Marshall Fire burned just about right up to the doorsteps of the school. I teach U.S. Gov, U.S. History, and Economics. I've served on multiple boards and commissions for literally decades, and I currently serve on Longmont City Council in the at-large seat that I'm running for. I've served in the past on the Longmont City Council from 2007 to 2011. Probably the biggest issues right now are the issues around affordable and attainable housing. I think that that goes hand in hand with the issues around livable wage and minimum wage. As a council member, I serve on the Boulder County Consortium of Cities, so we're dealing with that. That's one of the discussion issues. I feel that other issues are around traffic safety and around just general safety. But I think because we've done things right, like putting in Next Light, and I had a real serious hand in that, putting that on the ballot in 2008 and again in 2009. We have the safety features in Longmont in our parks that allow us to not always have a police officer right there, but we've managed to really leverage that technology to make sure that our parks and our community spaces are safe. So I think the priority that if I were hired for this job and hired back as your at-large city council member, I think the fourth priority would be the first priority would be to make sure that we really do some serious soul searching around what is affordable and attainable. But that's not as easily just done by build. We have to keep in mind the importance of character of a neighborhood, and I think that those that think that we can just build our way out of this problem are naive. I think that we have to have transportation elements already in place, or at least in the works. And I think we also have to make sure that people's pay is somewhere in an area where they can actually afford to live in Longmont and work here if they choose to. And I think that that will be my focus, to make sure that people are taken care of, because I want Longmont to be a place where people can live and work and raise families and feel safe in doing so. Please visit my website, mccoyforlongmont.com, and please vote for me, Sean P. McCoy, for the Longmont City Council at-large seat. That's on November 7th.
Well, I'm Spencer Adams. I'm running for Ward 3 for Longmont City Council. I wanted to run for this seat because I felt that our incumbent wasn't doing enough and didn't have the attention and time span to address the issues that we're facing here in Ward 3, such as the homelessness problem we're facing in Ward 3, the abandoned business fronts that are going on Main Street, and the parking near McIntosh Lake is starting to get atrocious, especially during the summertime. And among with any other things, and I wanted to run to be the young buck, the young guy that's energetic and I'm willing to learn, and I've got the time and the attention span to deal with these issues. And I'm very passionate about Longmont, and I really want to help it just as much as I possibly can. And I'm very familiar with Ward 3's part of town. So I really wanted to help in any way I could. I've always wanted to be in the public sector. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I aspire to represent Ward 3 and be the most engaging, the most transparent, and the youngest guy in Longmont City Council history. And it would be very historic for Longmont if I were elected. My relevant background for education, I have a high school diploma, of course, and I did go to a vocational school for construction project management, specifically in more of the electrical field. And I really want to take these construction administration and people skills that I have, and I really want to apply it towards helping Longmont as best I possibly can. I really have that likable factor. I have the people skills, and I have great background in project management, and I really think the council needs to have more of a business aspect of things rather than someone on there who's retired or an educator. And hopefully my background in construction is going to help with that business aspect that we need on the council, and hopefully get some new and fresh ideas on the council. And with that background, I think it would be a really good fit for the time we're in now here in Longmont. I think for just Ward 3, I think the homelessness problem is a really big issue. The housing crisis and how affordability is a really big issue, especially people in my age demographic. And to go a little bit smaller, the parking at McIntosh Lake, I know I kind of touched on that briefly. And also the food we're given to the homelessness, I've heard bad things about it too. And I'm really looking to uphold our end of the bargain. And also with public transportation, I really want RTD to uphold their end of the bargain with the promises they made about 20 years ago. And I really think public transportation in Ward 3 is going to help out just tremendously. I think those are the issues that are going to face me immediately when I step in. I really have a big passion for the transportation, the public transportation in this city. I would really love it to see the railways and the maglev railways. I know that's very years down the road, but I have a huge passion for that. I think that would just be unprecedented if the whole Front Range was connected like that. And it would make commutes a lot easier. It would be less traffic. It would just be nothing but good things if we had that transportation. And I'm really passionate about helping the homeless people that want to be helped. And I'm really passionate about the sustainability that Longmont wants to hit by 2030. I think we'll get pretty darn close. I really want to make sure Longmont remains a leader in the green initiative that we have going on, and I won't strive away from it. And I really want to be as engaging with constituents for the much smaller problems as much as I possibly can. For more information, my website is Spencer4Ward3.com.
Hi, I'm Susie Thalgo-Faring. I am your candidate for Ward 3 Longmont City Council. I am a veteran teacher. I've been teaching in the school district for about 20 years now, and a longtime resident, almost 20 years living here in Longmont. I am married and I have 3 children. My oldest daughter is a nurse. My middle daughter is studying law. And my son, who is diagnosed with autism, is living with us at home. My passion for running for city council the first time around, I'm running for my second term, really derived from my middle daughter, who struggled with suicide and depression, and just looking at the lack of resources and outreach that we had in our community. So that's kind of what drove me into the realm of community engagement and involvement, as well as looking at policy at our local, state, and national level. So I've really become an advocate for mental health, background in union advocacy, and what I've been doing with my own children and advocating for them. You know, I've really learned a unique skill set to advocate for the needs of our community. During my time on council, I've really got a sense of what are the relevant issues. It's a myriad of issues, ranging from housing, from mental health and services, policing, unhoused, and just our own quality of life, and as well as the impacts and burdens of our inflation and taxes. So kind of putting that all together and addressing those individually, as well as how the crossover from certain topics to the other. As a council person, we have to be able to have that bandwidth and capacity and understanding to address all pertinent issues that are a priority for our community. If I'm fortunate to get reelected for this position, my focus is really looking at our core services. I think over the last 4 years, especially the first couple of years in my term in office, navigating the pandemic, we learned that there were a lot of gaps in our system and how we can address and close some of those gaps and barriers for our community. During my time on council, we took over the Housing Authority. So we are also commissioners to the Longmont Housing Authority, and looking at the barriers we have for a lot of our low socioeconomic groups, communities within our city, as well as working class people, just being able to make ends meet. And I really want to be able to focus and extend the work we've been doing on the Housing Authority for affordable housing, as well as attainable workforce housing for people who want to be able to invest at homes that they can afford to purchase. We have a lot of residents who rent and who can't afford market rate, and we really want to continue this work. I'd really like to continue my work in leveraging that difference so that everyone can have that opportunity to invest in their own property, as well as and other issues I'd want to tackle. Aside from core services, getting our parks up to standard and finishing up projects. I'd also like to continue my work in addressing our unhoused, finding proper services, wraparound services. We have a phenomenal, and I'm very proud to be a part of it, the Zinnia Project that was under the Longmont Housing Authority. A lot of entities came together to make this happen, and I'm very proud to be a part of this, that will offer 55 supportive housing units for unhoused individuals to not just get them off the street, but to provide the mental health services they need and require in order to have a full, sustainable life, as well as therapies to re-engage in our community and hold down jobs. So, really looking at our issues through a well-rounded lens, and I'd like to continue that work. My focus will really be around core services that our community provides, making sure they're adequately funded, as well as addressing unhoused, housing and transportation, and of course our infrastructure that allows us to be able to get from here to there. Please visit my website, Susie for FOR Ward, WARD 3.com, if you'd like to learn more about me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stephen Altschuler, and I'm running for Longmont City Council in the at-large position. I've lived in Longmont for 17 years. I moved out here in 2007, but I've been in Colorado since 2095. And I have seen, especially the Longmont City Council, change the nature of Longmont a great deal in my time. And I want to run for office so I can help get things back in place for the people that live here. I've had my own businesses for 35 years. Most recently, when I moved here, just after I moved here in 1998, I started a window covering business out of my garage called Oasis Interiors. Within 2 years, I was the largest Hunter Douglas distributor in Boulder County. I know what it takes to build a business from the bottom up. I know what it takes to negotiate and get better prices to get the most work out of your employees so you don't have to hire as many employees. Those are some of the reasons why I think I'd be a good candidate for this office, because the budget in Longmont has gone up 58% in the last 7 years, from $282 million to $444 million. That $444 million for 2024 is equal to $16,000 a year per taxpayer. And then you hear people complain they don't have enough money for a mortgage, they don't have enough money for rent. And if the city would lower the taxes, everybody would have a lot more money. Some of the issues that I think are really important, the first one is our small businesses in Longmont. Small businesses are the lifeblood of any city. You need to lower taxes, allow the businesses to prosper, have them be buying more inventory, creating more sales, hiring more salespeople. That will lower the unemployment rate in the city, and then you'll end up getting more tax money back in the long run. One of the ways we can help our businesses is to make sure that the homeless are not camping on the sidewalk in front of businesses. I had a lady tell me at Unity in the Community that one of her employees quit because with the tents right in front of the store, she was not even comfortable coming into work. That is not acceptable. There are other things that we can do to help reduce the amount of homeless people in Longmont. We will never be without them altogether, but you can make sure to get the people that need and want help, the mental help that they need. And a lot of times the other people, you need to motivate them to start working rather than just enabling them to stay homeless. Another very important factor to me is crime. Colorado is the #1 state in the country for car theft. A lot of that came about when Governor Polis went ahead and made stealing a car a misdemeanor instead of a felony. Another factor is the fact that the jail in Boulder County is full. And they built that jail when Boulder had 85,000 people in 1988. Now Longmont has over 100,000 people. So if the big problem is there's nowhere to put the criminals that we arrest so the police can't arrest them, then we need to build a jail. I've talked about making the Safeway building at 17th and Pace maybe a holding facility for misdemeanor people. I've asked if there's a way that we can rent space from the Weld County Jail. So I'm always looking for solutions. I don't just sit there and say, we can't do this, we can't do that. My main focus when I'm elected, the first thing I'm going to do is write an ordinance, and hopefully the city council will back me up because I'm only one voice, requiring all homeless people to stay at least 100 feet away from a retail location and 500 feet away from a school so that our kids can go to school and get a better education. Right now in Colorado, only 40% of our kids can read or write or do arithmetic at grade level. I know I'm city council and not school board, but that has got to change, and that's something we need to look into. Again, my name is Steve Altschuler. I'm running for Longmont City Council. Thank you for your time.